Pakistani military has three services: the Army, the Navy and the Air Force. The Pakistan Navy is the branch of the military machine primarily responsible for maritime operations. It guards Pakistan's 1,000-kilometer long coastline along the Arabian Sea, with particular importance laid out on protecting harbors from three main naval bases: Karachi, Ormara and Gwadar. The Royal Pakistan Navy, which was the name of the force at the time, saw no action during the Indo-Pakistan War of 1947, as all the fighting was restricted to land warfare. But when the country was proclaimed the Islamic Republic of Pakistan under the 1956 Constitution, the prefix Royal was dropped and the service was redesignated simply as the Pakistan Navy. The order of precedence of the three services changed from Navy, Army, Air Force, which was the British pattern, to Army, Navy, Air Force, reflective of the Army's dominance in the military establishment. The Navy saw combat for the first time in the 1965 war with India. Though maritime operations from both sides were limited to patrolling their own coasts, the Pakistan Navy claimed to draw first blood in '65 through Operation Dwarka, where the Gujarati coastal town of Dwarka, home to an Indian radar location, was bombarded by a Pakistani naval battle group. But in 1971, the Indians struck first at sea. Operation Trident, which was a naval attack launched by the Indians on the Karachi coast, proved deadly. Casualties of the Pakistan Navy included PNS Khyber, a destroyer, and PNS Muhafiz, a minesweeper, which was sunk. Another Pakistani destroyer, PNS Shah Jahan, was badly damaged. No vessels were lost on the Indian side. The operation was the first sea battle since independence for the two nations, which saw naval ships being sunk. Oil installations in and around Karachi were also damaged. However, naval operations were seized by India on the Western Front after the sinking of the INS Khukri, an Indian frigate, by PNS Hangor, a Pakistani submarine near Diu, off the coast of Indian Gujarat. This was the first sub-kill since World War II and India's biggest wartime casualty. After the sinking of Khukri, India shifted its naval operations focus on the Bay of Bengal. The major threat there to the Indian Navy was PNS Ghazi. The only long-range Pakistani submarine and its underwater flagship was nullified when it was sunk directly or indirectly through the depth charges dropped by the Indian Navy's destroyer INS Rajput, or by its anti-ship mines. This enabled an easy blockade of East Pakistan by the Indian Navy and also marked the first sub-kill in the subcontinent's waters. The post-war damage assessment indicated that the Pakistan Navy took serious losses in '71. Furthermore, Karachi's vulnerability was exposed to Operations Trident and Python. It was time to reorganize. Effectively, the Navy sought to regroup and rethink its war logic. And among the several changes introduced was the creation of a combat unit trained for a new sort of naval warfare: special operations. When it comes to the elite, the Navy has its own fair share of the game. Welcome to the headquarters of the SSGN, or the Special Service Group Navy. Now, unlike the SSG of the Army, the Navy's Special Service is a smaller contingent, a tighter contingent of men which are based and operate primarily and inspired by the model, the warfare model of the US Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs, as you might know from the movies, can fight in all three dimensions of warfare: sea, air, and land. And it is effectively here at the headquarters where these men, the men of the SSGN, train once again on the US Navy SEALs model, inspired by the three-dimension warfare platform to be able to fight in sea, air, and land. This is the elite. This is the Navy. And here we go. Welcome to PNS Iqbal, home of the Navy's Special Forces, the SSGN, or the Special Service Group, Navy. These are volunteer SEAL trainees, the main contingent of the SSGN. SEAL is the abbreviation for Sea, Air and Land Forces, a three-dimensional combat unit which can operate in all or any environment. First, a disclaimer. Over 90% of these trainees will not make it to the SSGN. They will return to their regular jobs in the Navy. A select few will be certified to perform the mainstay operations of the SSGN. These include frogman maneuvers, airborne operations, salvage and search and rescue procedures, and of course, commando assaults and anti-terrorist raids. The primary objective of these SEALs, when they are ready, will be clandestine. We will probably never hear about their achievements or see them in action. There will be no live TV coverage or any in-depth interviews. The training is grueling, even humiliating. Because of the nature of their special role, these potential SEALs are challenged to the limits, mentally and physically, for weeks on end. Ample sleep and food is a luxury. Hand-to-hand combat, sit-ups, front rolls, and drown-proofing, the ability to stay afloat while tied up in water, are their new abilities. And familiarity with the new home away from home, the water, is key.